sometimes they sound cool. Sometimes they just don't.
Well, and it's almost, they're almost like cherished and protected by whoever's carrying the name and everything. Not everybody gets to know your trail name either.
No, I like
that's a big one as well. You know?
Well,
Copper Raven, I didn't know his until I got told it not too long ago. I had no idea.
No, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I remember you asking about that, and I was like, and because it's not that it's a secret or anything. It's just sometimes that we do hold it really special to us.
Yeah.
And like I told you, sometimes I don't, on the field, I'm the one going, oh, my name's this. I usually go by my real name, just because it's not. I do hold it really special, and it's something like I like to share with other people, trail names or people close to me. Mm-hmm. By the way, that I love my trail name so much that I actually tattooed it on my body, my trail name.
I've got mine on me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, see that because it is really it's really special to us.
Let's back up. For those of you listening and everything, it's not like we tattooed the script of the names on us. It's not like we have that.
Not like our ex-girlfriends.
I do not have just the word coyote on me, but I have a coyote on me.
And that's true. I do not have the words iron lynx on me. I have a lynx on me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It's metaphor. I hate that. Sorry.
I could just see people right now listening being like, really? You tattooed that on you? Just the word.
Just the word. I was actually I wanted to do the word iron lynx, but I wanted to be written out because I have Nordic heritage.
Oh, yeah.
And did some old ancient Nordic, but then I didn't want to be like some Nordic tribe that my family fought against or something. Yeah. I wanted to kind of do some more research because I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, this looks cool, and then they're like, oh no, my family was murdering those people and hating them.
My favorite one, my wife and I joke about this all the time because you'll hear people say like, oh, I have Viking heritage, and it's like, so you're a mutt.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The Vikings killed and had sex with everyone.
Well, but that's the thing is you don't really know where you're from. That's what you always explain because they would just, they were crazy.
Maybe we ought to talk to Copper Raven about getting us a little bit of family history and everything.
I've always wanted to, but I'm always scared because I'm going to find out like my ancestors are like killing people.
I don't know any history of my family past my grandparents.
Really?
Yeah, so I always feel like lost by that because I don't know anything.
No, I've been doing doing some history. I found some really cool stuff. I'd love to. I'll share it with you sometime. But I'll show you where I've been going and working on it.
Sweet.
You'll be impressed with how far they can go.
Sweet.
But anyways,
so so back to the doing trail names and everything. Since we got a little off topic, but that's okay. Hang with us.
Hey, that's the rules of this pod. We can go on tangents, just not for too long.
Exactly.
If we didn't have tangents, we have nothing else to talk about.
Right. No, so with trail names and everything, going on some history on it. A lot of times in history, especially like if we go back to like colonial era and everything, I don't want to go too far back, but we'll go back to colonial era and everything like that. Different tribes that interacted with different frontiersmen and everything would give them names and everything based on the tribe and everything.
Yeah.
So while they may not know their actual name or their actual Christian name as it was called and everything, they would actually know them by the name that they gave them.
Yeah. And the other thing, they couldn't pronounce their normal names. Sometimes it's the same thing. If you go to some other country and they try to, I couldn't pronounce. I couldn't pronounce, and they probably couldn't pronounce mine. So you would do something to make it easier on both.
You make it easier on both. The other thing too is many Native American tribes actually have multiple names for themselves. Some are just so cherished and everything they don't ever share it.
Well, that's the other thing is sometimes the names that we call Native American tribes are actually not their real name. It's just I can't remember what tribe it was. I think it's the don't quote me on it. I think it's the is it the Navajo? It's one of the southwestern tribes. I'm trying to think where their name they don't call themselves that. It was the warring tribe that called them that, and it means big guys that throw rocks or something.
Something like that.
So it's like that's the jerks or the assholes, and that's what they called them.
Exactly.
Then, oh, hey assholes, how's it going? Like if you think about that. So it wasn't really their real name. It was some other tribe that they got, and so and then what's the tribe that nobody I can't remember their name. The one that we have no history on. We found them in Chaco Canyon.
What are you talking about?
That old Native American tribe where they built that whole city out in the southwest.
You're talking the Anasazi?
Yeah, Anasazi.
Yeah.
We don't know their real name.
That's true. Yeah, we
call them the Anasazi, but that's what we call them.
Yeah.
Just like the Hopewell Mound tribes, that's named after a white guy. His last name was Hopewell.
Yeah.
On his land, that's why we call him the Hopewell. Sorry.
No, that's good. It makes the same point. That really names are something that's given to us and everything.
Yeah.
Our birth names, we don't get to choose those either and
No.
everything. They're just given to us. So with trail names, you really don't get to choose your trail name.
No.
You know, a good example is there's a gentleman that I've run into at a couple rendezvous. His name is Teaspoon. And
What rap video does he do?
yeah, right.
I think that's going to be a good rapper name. My name's Teaspoon, and this I'm a cup.
No, teaspoon.
Tea.
Teaspoon, like a teaspoon.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a rap name. I'm Teaspoon. I'm going to be like, I'm quarter cup.
So, but yeah.
I'm 2 quart. What's up, little pint?
Stop.
Okay. I can go on for hours.
Yeah. So
This is my big woman gallon.
So his okay. So his name is Teaspoon. I know you got another one in the tank. Just hold it down for now.
I can't help it. Sorry. I can't help. Sorry.
So his name is Teaspoon, and when I asked like how he got the name, right, he said that all it was when he was shooting black powder at one of the competitions and everything, he needed a way to prime his powder in the gun and everything.
We're still talking about a gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the only way that he could, actually like get the powder in the gun and everything, because he didn't have the actual like tool for it and everything, was he just used a teaspoon, a literal teaspoon to like load the powder.
Yeah.
And so they just started calling him Teaspoon. So that's all the reason that he had
Yeah,
for his name.
No, it's cool, and I think it's awesome when you have that, because I feel like in our world today, it's like, I always hate when they're like, oh, their name's going to be this, but then their nickname's going to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't make up a nickname before the person. I like nicknames that are just they happy. Like someone's like, my name's Red, because I had red hair when I was a kid, or and something. And I think it's kind of cool when you get these kind of nicknames like that. But it's like, I hate when people are like, yeah, we're going to call him this, but then we're going to have his nickname be this, and that's what we'll call him by. And I'm like, well, just give him the nickname. It's just regular name.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
It's like, yeah. But go on. Sorry. I love when nicknames are like that, because I think it's really cool. It's very powerful, and it sticks with you, and that's how everybody calls you, by it.
Yeah,
exactly. I like it, and but I mean that's the other thing is you get these people. I had a kid that I had to name one time, and we gave him the name Moonlight Lizard.
Moonlight Lizard.
And you could have sworn that.
Did you see his scaly eczema in the moonlight?
No, and I remember. Anyways, I was like, yeah, Moonlight Lizard, and. At first, he was just like, really? You guys gave me that name? Like, he was so upset. But he loved it. And so I know, and this was years, I left this program, and I went back for a season just to help him out. And what's funny was, I was sitting there, and I was like, yeah, one time, and I told him that story. I was like, yeah, one time my kid named a kid Moonlit Lizard. And they all just, like, looked up like, are you serious? You knew Moonlit Lizard? Like, guys, that was like 3 years ago. There's no way you guys would know Moonlit Lizard. Like, oh no, well, apparently he became an adult and he went back to the program like 3 months before I got there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, my name's Moon. He gave him, he loved that name and he gave it to him. And they all knew who this kid was. And I was like, I was so upset that I didn't get to see him again, because he was we became such really close and working together, and he's just a great kid. And that it was just funny that even after 3 years, they still knew
who it was.
They met him, and they knew him by that trail name. And that when I mentioned, because I wouldn't think they would know him, and it was just really cool and powerful to see that, because that's what happens with these trail names. We always like talk about is our names are the legend, like it's our history of what we've done.
Yeah, it's our accomplishments. Yeah. It's where have we been too.
Well, and it's funny, it's like you'll start talking about somebody and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, Coyote, and he did all these things and everything, like, oh cool, and you hear all these stories about this person, and then you're at this one event and this guy's like, yeah, my name's Coyote, so, and you're like, wait, you're this guy? Oh, did all these things, like, yeah, and it's like, oh, I didn't imagine you looking like that.
Howdy y'all, Coyote here. If you enjoyed the clip you just heard, you can listen to the whole episode on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, or anywhere else you like to listen to your podcast on. And if you really like the clip you just heard, please consider giving us a like or click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on new episodes coming at you every week.